Hello, sweet friends. Okay, so if you didn't see my post earlier, I'll do a real quick little rundown. So, me and Bella went on a little road trip this morning. It's about 30 miles away from us. They have like these little Amish communities, and y'all, they have the best, freshest produce you could possibly get. And so I went and I got a little crazy and I got all kinds of stuff. So that's what we're going to be having for the next few days. So tonight, I did some fresh green beans and new potatoes over here. I've had these slow cooking for a few hours. Now we're going to throw together a squash casserole. Okay, let me get this in here. I think I did this squash casserole way back whenever I first got started on doing these videos on here. But I know I have a lot of new followers, and I just thought I would run through it real quick and then plate up my delicious dinner that I'm having tonight, y'all. So what I've done so far, now these squash were really small. I'll show you one in just a minute. But that's the way that I like my vegetables. Y'all tell me, do you like your vegetables really small or do you like them bigger? To me, the smaller, the better they are. Like my squash, I like small. Okra, of course, you can't hardly eat okra. It just gets too tough. But I like my squash to be small. I like my cucumbers to be small. Zucchini, I like for it to be in little small pieces. And today they had just that, and I racked up. So let me grab some and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's see here. And get out some of these cucumbers. So when I say small, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. Look at these squash. I mean, you can see here. Here's my hand. These are really small, and I love these. And then the cucumbers the same way. Look at them. Now, I know you have to slice up more of them, but they're just so much better to me. I really like them like that. So, for this squash casserole, y'all, I'm doing about half the recipe that I would normally do, just because nobody else is going to eat this but me. So I did about 5 of these little bitty little squash. So that would be about the same. I would say about 3 of the bigger size squash, or maybe even 2. I don't know. But anyway, y'all. So what I did was I put just a little bit of olive oil down here in my skillet. I can't get y'all up here too close. I got too much stuff up here. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to season it up. We're going to saute this up for just a minute before we put our casserole together. And y'all, this is the easiest but delicious squash casserole. There's not many ingredients. It's very simple. The only thing I'm putting on here now is a little bit of salt and pepper. And y'all know I can't make nothing without my Creo, so I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that on there. You know, that's always optional. Just a tiny bit. We're going to crank this thing up. It's not doing nothing yet. Then I'm going to do a little bit of garlic powder. Just a little bit. And I think I'm going to do a little bit of this dried parsley. I have some fresh over here. I think I'll put that on maybe the top of it. Just sprinkle some on. Okay, we're just going to let this saute up. And like I said, it's few ingredients. You're going to do a little bit of sour cream, or you could do mayo, cheese. I'm going to throw a little bit of butter in here, and that's about it. I know a lot of people do eggs in their squash casserole. I don't. I want to try it, but I'm a little bit scared because I like mine so much, and so I just do it like this. But y'all tell me, do you put egg in your squash casserole? I'm sure it's good. It's just not something that I ever do. And like I said, I use sour cream, whereas you could use mayo too, or a combination of both. But anyway, y'all, I'm just yakking today. Oh, and I got me a cantaloupe today. I love good, fresh cantaloupe. And I haven't cut it open yet. I've popped it in the fridge so it could get good and cold. So I'll either slice that up tonight or tomorrow. I guess it depends on how much of this I eat tonight, how full I get. But I'm just going to saute up this squash, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to throw this little casserole together. And I'm going to show you my little sliced cucumbers and tomatoes, and we're going to plate all this up, y'all. Hey, y'all, I forgot one of the most important parts to our squash casserole. I had it sitting right here in front of me, and I got to talking and forgot it. But this is just a little bit of diced up onion, and I also threw in some butter in here, probably about 2 tablespoons, because we want all this to cook down before we put our casserole together. So I'm going to go ahead and put in our onion. You can do just however much, little you want. And I like to turn this up on a pretty high temperature. Whoop, lost one. I like to turn this up pretty high, and that way you can cook out most of that liquid. That's really actually your purpose for pre-cooking it, so you can kind of get most of that liquid out of the squash and your onions. So that's what I'm going to do, y'all. I'm going to crank this up, cook it down, and then I'll come back. Okay, y'all, our squash is ready. Now remember, I added some, after I turned it off earlier, I added some butter in here, about 2 tablespoons. And you'll still have some in your skillet, and that's okay. That just adds great flavor to your casserole. But see how the squash looks? It has a little bit of, like a little sear on it, a little bit. That's how I like for it to look. All right. So I'm just going to, now normally I make this in a deeper skillet, and I just mix it all up in the skillet. But I was afraid that I'd make a big mess with this, so I just decided to pour it in this bowl. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're going to add some sour cream. Like I said, you can do mayonnaise if you want. I really like the sour cream. Or you could probably do a mixture of both. But for this amount, I'm going to do, I think, about 1/4 of a cup, okay? For my larger amount that I make, I usually do about 1/2 a cup. So we're going to see. We may need to do 1/3 of a cup. I don't know. All right, but anyway, we're going to do that, and then we're going to add some cheese in. Let's see. That may be around 1/2 a cup or so. That's probably about 1/2 a cup right there. Y'all, I'm not always on point with my measurements, so y'all know, you just do it and look at it and then go from there. All right, we're going to mix this up. All right, I think we are going to need more sour cream. Let me get another spoon. So, yeah, I am thinking more around the 1/3 of a cup, okay? Yeah, that's better. And, y'all, that's all there is to it. And it will be so delicious. Y'all take my word for it. Let's put in a little more sprinkle of cheese. I have my little dish here greased up. We're going to put that in there. Let me see. Can y'all see? All right. Like I said, a lot of people do the egg. I just choose not to. But it may be one of those things, if I were to ever try it, I may love it. Y'all know how that goes. You don't knock it till you try it, you know. But like I said, y'all can see here, I'm making a very small amount. Like, it's just barely covering the bottom of this dish. This is about half the size of what I normally do. Okay, we got that there, and then I like to sprinkle on just a little bit more of the cheese over the top. Not too much. We're going to put something else on top of it too. Okay, we're going to do that. And then, let's move that over. I have some butter here that's kind of stiffened back up, but it'll be okay. And we're going to crush up some Ritz crackers. I have this one little small pack here that's opened up, so we're going to use it first. Okay. Y'all, I love to get these little small packs. Do y'all get these? Because I feel like these are the best, because you don't have to open up a big pack if you just want a few, because they do, you know, they get stale really easy. One thing I love is fresh crackers. So we're going to put some more in here. Let's see. Mix that up in that butter. I had about 2 tablespoons of butter in there, y'all. But you know, you can do however much you want. Now, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Y'all, I told you I had those fresh herbs. This is some fresh chives. I'm just going to mix this up in with our crackers. It don't matter how big or small it is. And then I had a little bit of parsley over here. Y'all know I love my parsley. So I'm just going to chop some of it up and mix that all in there. Okay, just like that. Mix it around. We probably could have used a little bit more butter, but we're gonna make it work. Well, it had kind of stiffened up a little bit on us too, so that makes a difference. All right, now we're just gonna put all this over, y'all see, over the top of our casserole. Y'all, I have my oven set on 350. We're gonna pop this in there, and with this being so small, let's break that up a little bit more. I didn't do real good on my scissoring, did I? We're gonna pop this in there, and no more than this is. I mean, we're not gonna have to cook it probably not over 20 minutes for sure. Okay? So that looked good. All right, y'all, pop this in there and I'll come back. Hey, y'all, so just real quick while our squash casserole was cooking in the oven, look at these tomatoes I got today, y'all. Look at these. Don't those look so good? Now, if I'm not mistaken, now y'all tell me if you know different, but I think these are the German pinks. I know they certainly look like it with all these little ridges around it that my grandmother always had in her garden. My favorite, the kind I grew up on, and I think that's what these are called. I've got like 3 different kinds today. Now, this is a different kind. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I love them all, y'all. So I got some of these, and then I got some that have like that purple tint to them. I have them sitting over there. Y'all, my freezer, that's the only thing it's good for these days, is just stacking stuff up on top of it. I mean, the freezer still works, and it's still up and going, but when the boys were growing up, it was great to have because you could store like, you know, frozen pizzas in there and just little frozen pizza rolls and Hot Pockets and all that good stuff whenever you go on a big grocery haul. But now I just don't really buy that much stuff like that, and so mostly the only thing I put in my freezer is probably my meats. And so I just never use it. So it is good for everything. So tonight I have all my vegetables stacked up over there. That's where the mail goes. That's where everything goes. Do y'all have a place like that in your house where you just, the only use is just to put everything? But anyway, y'all, I just wanted to show you these tomatoes. They look so good. I have not even had a bite of one yet. I already have some sliced up here to go with our dinner tonight. My timer is fixing to go off right now for the squash casserole, so I'm fixing to check it, and I'll be back in just a second. All right, y'all, let's plate this delicious meal up. Let's see, what did I do with my... I'm going to show y'all this little squash casserole real quick. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Now, what I did, y'all, I cooked this on 350 for right at 20 minutes, and then I turned it on broil just to get the top a nice and golden color. Now, you don't have to do that. Y'all know I just choose to. I'm going to go ahead and get that out first because it's so hot. Now, I'm telling you, if you love squash, you'll love this little casserole. And like I said, it's so easy. That's what I like about it. Smells so good. All right. Now, let's see. Here is our fresh sliced veggies here. I went ahead, y'all know I like to get things done early. So this is my banana pepper that I got. I'm gonna get me a little piece of that out, and then I just laid a paper towel over it. And then here is let's see how little these cucumbers are. That's my favorite. My favorite kind. All right, so we're gonna get some of those out. We're going to get some of these tomatoes, y'all. And y'all know I peeled these tomatoes. If I have fresh garden tomatoes, I like to peel them. And as long as you have your good sharp knife, then you're in luck. But listen, one of my friends, I was going to say follower, but she's more like a friend now. She sent me this little tomato knife. Look at this thing, and I tell you what, it did the trick on slicing up these tomatoes. It worked out so good. All right, I'm gonna get me a little piece of this pepper there. And now let's get out some of our green beans and potatoes. Look at this, y'all. Talk about good. Now, you can do this so many different ways. You can put sausage in it, which I do sometimes. You can put ham, diced up bacon. I didn't do any of that. I just put in some of my pork jaw or hog's jaw, you might call it, just to season it up, because I wanted this just to be an all vegetable dinner. So I didn't do any of that. Look at this, y'all. The tomatoes, that squash. This is a good fine dinner here. All right, we're gonna do a little pepper over all of our stuff. Okay, and a little bit of salt. We gotta have salt on that tomato and cucumber for sure. Okay. This is the kind of foods that I grew up eating, y'all. You know, I asked you earlier if you were fine with just eating a vegetable meal. Y'all, you know, a lot of times whenever I was growing up, my grandparents, they didn't have meat every day. I mean, it might just be, you know, pinto beans and cornbread, you know, some potatoes, some peas, green beans, and then, of course, all the time, the garden veggies. But I tell you what would really be good with this would be a big bowl of white beans and cornbread. And a lot of you are probably going to say that you would want a slice of cornbread with this. But me personally, y'all know, I don't, only time I eat cornbread is with if I have white beans or pinto beans, most of the time. Maybe a soup occasionally. But most of the time, for stuff like this, I just don't eat cornbread. Nothing better than a garden tomato. Now, I tell you what we're going to do one day for lunch. We're going to make us some sandwiches with some of these tomatoes. I'm trying to decide, do I want to do like a BLT or do I want to do a bologna sandwich? I don't know. I like them both. Let's try these cucumbers. Delicious. Let's try this squash. It's still so hot. But I think tomorrow, because I know I'm going to have a lot of this left over, I'm going to have some of the squash, the green beans and potatoes, and of course I'm still going to have some of the vegetables, the other vegetables, the cucumbers and tomatoes and all that. I'm thinking tomorrow I may get up and put on a big pot of beans, white beans or whichever. I'll have to see what I have in the cabinet. I love this squash, y'all. It's so easy. Y'all have to try this and let me know what you think about it. All right, let's try these green beans and potatoes. Delicious. So good, y'all. I'll try a little pepper. So good. Oh yeah, I forgot I got out me a little green onion. These are good too. I didn't get this today. I already had that in the fridge. But everything else, y'all, I got from the produce stand today. All fresh. So good. I know I didn't really have a new recipe to share with you tonight unless you haven't seen the squash casserole recipe. But if nothing else, maybe it may inspire you to go and get some good, healthy, fresh vegetables. Anyway, y'all, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.